So there's some hidden good news coming out of the San Francisco game, and it's that the state of our defense, it's not really what it looks like at all. And we pretty much saw a team dismantling against the 49ers on Sunday. I saw that too. The offense was non existent in the first half, especially defense, just really bad from square one. So, what has this led to? This has led to a lot of talk from people that this defense needs a complete redo from the ground up, that it isn't as good as we thought. Now, that can always be true. Hype gets out of control about how good our defense was, but I want to have cooler heads prevail here and see what's really happening here. And I think it really just comes down to one player, and that's nose tackle Andrew Billings. And besides coaching issues, this defensive slide, it really just comes down to this one specific injury and the Bears just not being prepared for it, not being deep enough or savvy enough coach wise to fill this void. And now this is encouraging, in my opinion. It shows that it's not a doom and gloom situation. We got to blow this completely up. We just simply need to work on the trenches here. So let's kind of prove this. Let's walk through this. Let's go back to last year. Let's see where the real clear tipping point was. And that's once Montez Sweat joined up. Fully different team midseason, right? The team allowed 17.9 points a game after his arrival, and that's compared to 27.3 before he came to town. So keep those numbers in mind, 17.9 and 27.3. It's really clear the before and after there, right? But I think the same thing is happening this year, just in the reverse. Look at the week 9 loss of defensive tackle Andrew Billings. That's with a torn pec muscle. It's going to require season-ending surgery. I believe it's already happened. It's created the same kind of before and after dynamic as the Sweat trade. So let's check this out. Before week 19, 18.5 points per game with Billings anchoring this defensive line at nose. Very similar number. And now 26 points per game since he went to IR. I don't think it's going to get much better either. We've got a gauntlet of top defenses to finish out the year. But these defensive comparisons, they're almost the exact same as last year. So what does that mean, right? Tear down, dismantle key pieces on the defense. The secondary, absolutely no good now. Run guys like Tyreek Stevenson out of town. I think he needs an attitude adjustment, but he is still an important piece to this defense. What it does mean this defense can still be absolutely elite, but the lack of depth in the trenches came back to bite us in the butts on both sides of the ball. On offense, it's a frontline deficiency as well. But if we focus on that specifically through the draft, with our over $8 million in cap space coming up at minimum, we're absolutely good here. I think we need to relax when it comes to the defense. But Coach Washington, he didn't mince words, though. He assessed how his unit performed in San Francisco, and he's not going to speak kindly about it. This is him talking. Last week's performance on the defensive side of the ball, you know myself, clearly we failed to meet the mark in terms of anything that could be considered an acceptable performance, and that starts with me. I expect us to respond, follow through, and put forth the type of performance that'll give ourselves a chance to win a football game and to actually win it. So I don't want to let the defense off the hook, though. That was a terrible, listless performance. We're 4-9, 7 straight losses, 2 different head coaches, 3 offensive coordinators, and so much time is being devoted to these things. But honestly, I think the answer on defense is just so simple. There's absolutely no replacement for Billings, and it affects absolutely everything. So let's look at the kind of year that he was having, how it affects the whole line, and also what we have to look forward to. So PFF, they gave Billings a grade that put him 12th among 130 tackles and nose guards in 2023. He currently ranks 45th out of 125, but you have to factor in that injury. Gervon Dexter, second-round pick in 2023 from Florida. He's been absolutely excellent in his first season, and this is his first season as a full starter on this defensive line. We have our 3 tech figured out here. But he's played alongside Billings and his replacements that are more lackluster, and it's mostly been Chris Williams, Byron Cowart, Zach Pickens. He ranks 18th at the position in PFF grading, and that's Gervon. That's fantastic. And now that Billings is gone, everything's been placed on the ends now. Everything's been placed in linebackers, and it's just not how this defense is designed to run. The engine, it needs to be at defensive tackle, both spots. And linebacker TJ Edwards, I think he knows that. I think he knows things are out of whack, but he's absolutely going to be a good soldier. He just said the defense has got to use this 49ers game as motivation to play better, and this is coming prime time against the Vikings, and we don't want another embarrassment. So this is to hear from TJ. This is what we do. This is how we make a living. And I think it's a really prideful locker room, prideful defense. And we know that that's not acceptable in any way. The only fix to that is to get back in here and get to work. So kind of expanding past Billings, past Williams, we're looking at Zach Pickens. And I mean, it's kind of disappointing that he isn't the answer. We might be looking at a bust as a third-round draft pick, but he's been playing hurt all season, and let's break that down. He had a growing injury, if you remember, in training camp. I think he came back too soon. He hurt it more all the way back in week 2, and that kept him out until week 9. So it's hard to get a really good assessment on Pickens so far. He is a player to watch as the season progresses. And we're looking at Williams and Coward. They've been holding down this spot, but they're pretty much practice team caliber dudes. We just aren't deep enough, and we're paying the price. But this isn't indicative of the whole defense going downhill. That's just not the case. Williams, he ranks only at 98th at his position. Coward, he's a 5th rounder out of the Patriots. He had a nice preseason, but he ranks 164th out of 212 defensive linemen. That's not going to cut it. Pickens ranks low at 46.7, and that's his PFF rating. That's the lowest on the team. So obviously, we've got a lot of work to do in the trenches. The plan was for Billings, Dexter, and Pickens to handle the middle of this line. It's just not good enough, and Billings is such an important player. So let's be super clear on what we have with him here, and this is where a lot of optimism comes on as well. Good thing he's signed. He's in his first year, the 2-year, $8 million extension he signed during last year, and he's cost effective. He's only $3.5 million against the cap this year. Absolute stud who's cost effective. And it's not during his time here that he's been great. With the Raiders, previously he was ranked 16th out of 127 tackles and nose guards in 2022. And beyond run stuffing, that's his forte. He's been ranked 9th in the league as a pass rushing tackle as well. Now let's look at where that puts him. That puts him right between guys like Keanu Becton, Jeffrey Simmons from the Titans. Really good company, right? And now I want to show a final indication of before and after this season pertaining to Billings to just show you this isn't a whole defensive problem. This is specifically a trench problem. And that's a way easier problem to fix. The Bears are averaging 3 sacks a game. Absolute robust pass rush. The secondary was lights out, especially in the red zone. They were fantastic in the red zone. But let's look at what we have now. 7 sacks in 5 games. Teams are moving the ball on us. Only the red zone, good luck, that's gone away as well. And we're looking at 8 picks in this upcoming draft, 80+ million in cap space. No, that's number 5 in the league in that area. And we're looking at 4 of these picks. All 4 might be in the top 75. Think about that. Get these trenches fixed. We have a solid football team ready to get it done. Watch for how Pickens specifically, how he looks to finish out this season. If he can get it together now that he's fully healthy, makes a huge difference on what the plan needs to be. And we're looking at also the Bears. They might have to rely on the passing game on Monday night as well. DeAndre Swift, Roschon Johnson, both out for second straight practice days. Definitely in doubt for Monday night. I think they're both probably going to be out. You're looking at Johnson. He already missed the Niners game. That's with his concussion. And Swift, he still has that growing injury nagging him. Looking at both of these guys going out, we've got superstar Travis Homer leading the charge, and that doesn't really make me excited. So looking at Gervon Dexter as well. He missed his second straight practice. Offensive lineman Ryan Bates Still not practicing after that week 11 concussion. That's just really that's just really just bad luck for him this year. And the Bears are going to practice again today. We'll see. The game isn't until Monday, so we still have a better idea on injured players availability by the end of the day today. But you guys, I just want to make it very clear, this isn't a situation that we have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. This is a very simple problem on the defensive line. We're not deep enough in the trenches, and once Billings left and Pickens, he's had his injury concerns. We just don't have an answer. So we're not generating a pass rush. And that in turn leads to deficiencies in the linebacker core and also in the secondary. So it's really a domino effect. Way simpler issue to fix. It doesn't go any deeper than that. And you guys let me know what you think. Bear down. We are almost to this game on Monday, and I'll be here with you. Talk to you soon.